Hello and welcome to episode 13 of UK NBA Part 2. We're eating chewits, that's probably why we're a bit. I'm Ryan Hillback.
And I'm Peter Wells.
And this is the part where we look at the trades that happened yesterday. It was absolutely manic. I mean, you said we shouldn't have gone to sleep. Why did we do that?
Obviously, being in the UK, this all happened during the middle of the night for us.
So, what I'll say to you if you're in the UK, don't sleep. Because it's what happens with UK NBA.
Yep.
We'll bring you the trade news anyway, so you can sleep, because that's kind of where we are.
And we just fill you in.
And you can start it off with your team, Miami Heat, because I know you're itching to deliver the good news.
Yeah, I was very happy to see that Miami Heat did some big trade, probably the biggest trade of the deadline day. That included Goran Dragic of the Phoenix Suns, one of the premier point guards in the Western Conference, and that takes a lot to be one of those. He was obviously expressing the fact that he didn't want to re-sign at the end of the season, and Heat have picked him up, and that means they also pick up his brother Zoran Dragic.
Yeah, if you take one, you've got to take the other.
Take the other, yeah. And I've had to give up quite a bit though to get him. And that included Danny Granger, who really hasn't worked out completely as expected since his injury, obviously. John Salmons has also gone from the Pelicans to the Suns. Plus, they have 2 draft picks, 2017 protected draft pick and an unprotected draft pick of 2021.
Are you going to eat that true or just keep banging it up and down?
Keep banging it up and down.
Right, just checking.
Both from Miami. Pelicans have had all 3 Miami players. Norris Cole, Sean Williams.
Good old Norris Cole there. Good pick up for the Pelicans.
Yeah, they've got one very good player there. I haven't had to give anything for it. I've only had to give John Salmons for free.
Only had to obviously give the lose a bit of cap space, and imagine contracts would be in the millions, especially for someone like Cole. Moving on from the Pelicans, who have we got next? We've got the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it's the return of Kevin Garnett. He has gone back to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yep. And that was a pretty simple trade. It was simply Garnett for Thaddeus Young. Nets have probably got the better deal out of that in a way. They're a pretty disjointed team right now, and Thaddeus Young isn't probably too happy to leave one disjointed team for another disjointed team.
At least the Nets have got a better chance of going in the playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs than Timberwolves have, but Young's a good player and knows the Eastern Conference well, having been at Philadelphia. Kevin Garnett's obviously quite well known as a former Timberwolves player, and he'll be much welcome back, although he's only joining a situation that can't get much better. So
I suppose it can't get any worse.
It can't get any worse now, surely, but we're going to see what's going to happen there. I think it was just a trade that kind of had to happen because Kevin Garnett was obviously not interested in remaining as a Nets player next season.
Okay then, looking onto the business that was done between the Pistons and Thunder.
And the Jazz.
And the Jazz. So getting a 3-way piece of business here. Reggie Jackson, the point guard that was so disillusioned with life at OKC because of the fact that he couldn't move Russell Westbrook out of his place, has finally got the move he's so desperately craved over the last couple of months. Reggie Jackson is now a Pistons player, and including that deal, Augustin and Singler both went to the Pistons, and they've got a 2019 unprotected second-round draft pick from them also. Yeah,
and obviously some massive, with Augustine going, it's basically a like-for-like swap in terms of where they're going to play. Augustine, obviously, since coming in for the injured Brandon Jennings, he's become a starter at the Pistons, and now he'll move to a reserve, basically swapping for what Reggie Jackson was as a point guard behind Westbrook. Whereas Reggie Jackson will do exactly the opposite. He goes from being the reserve behind Westbrook
to being the number one.
Being the number one, and at least so it's going to be interesting when Brandon Jennings returns next season.
Yeah, because Jennings getting that injury.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting, and we'll have to see what happens. And the Jazz have acquired Kendrick Perkins and Grant Jarrett from OKC. They've also got the rights to Tibor Pless. I hope I've pronounced that right. This is all from OKC, by the way, at the minute. 2017 protected first round draft pick as well from OKC. And they've got a 2017 second round pick from the Pistons as part of that deal.
And obviously, big news. Obviously, the Jazz have had to give up Enes Kanter and Steve Novak. Steve Novak hasn't played for a while now.
No, so it won't be too much of a loss.
No, and I don't think he'll bring too much for OKC, apart from on the coaching.
But I bet he's buzzing at the moment.
Exactly, and Kanter.
It's a fantastic move.
Kanter's obviously considered one of the, unfortunately, worst defenders in the league. Not many people rate him for that, which is why the Jazz have really struggled to
he's not the best defender, shall we say.
On the offensive end, he brings so much. He'll score a lot of points. He'll get a lot of rebounds. And he's complete opposite to Kendrick Perkins. He can't defend like Kendrick can, but he can score a lot better. So it probably helps Kevin Durant and Westbrook, but not on the defensive end. So could be interesting, that one.
Next up, sorry about the truth. True addicted these truths.
Three teams.
Yeah, between three teams: the Suns, the Bucks, and the Sixers. The Suns have acquired Brandon Knight and Kendall Marshall.
Yeah, they were two good picks. Kendall Marshall obviously out for the year, so I won't say anything of him. But Brandon Knight, fantastic point guard, and obviously they have lost Dragic in that trade, and there's another point guard they lost, which we'll come to in a bit. So that's certainly replacing them. I think Brandon Knight's a very good player to pick up, and could play well with Bledsoe.
For the Bucks, they've acquired MCW and Michael Carter-Williams from the Sixers. And from the Phoenix, they've got Miles Plumlee and Tyler Ennis as well.
Yeah, that's a very interesting one. I like the pickups of Plumlee and Ennis. Ennis is a good bench player. Miles Plumlee is a great starter, really big player. Can play in that centre position and hold that well. Certainly something that the Bucks will need. Also about Michael Carter-Williams, it's interesting. They've basically replaced Carter-Williams with Brandon Knight. So they've replaced Brandon Knight with Carter-Williams. So that's an interesting one. The whole point of it was Brandon Knight was running out of contract at the end of the season. And there was talk that obviously the Bucks didn't want to give him that big contract.
Yeah.
So with Williams, he's still on the rookie contract. They don't have to give him any more money. It's a cheaper option in a way. Will that come back to haunt him? But we'll have to see. But Carter-Williams deserves this chance to really be playing on a good team.
A team that's challenging at the right end.
At the right end of the table.
And the Philadelphia 76ers, well, it was poor for them, wasn't it? This
but they've got a good draft
deal.
pick.
But they've got a great draft pick. They've got a 2015 protected first round draft pick from the Lakers.
And obviously,
it'll be interesting to see.
Considering where the Lakers are, that's probably going to be a top 5 draft pick as well. So you're going to get one of the best players coming out of the draft combine.
Another piece of news concerning the Suns is they've picked up Marcus Thornton, but they've had to give Isaiah Thomas to the Celtics.
Yeah,
and they've got a 16 first round pick as well as the Celtics.
I think that's understandable from the Suns' point of view in a way, because although I really rate Isaiah Thomas,
so do I.
Marcus Thornton's a shooting guard, and the one thing that Suns didn't really have was that backup shooting guard. But I do question what they've done, because I felt that they were desperately missing a small forward. Granger isn't exactly the greatest small forward they could have picked up. But ultimately, that's what they've got. Marcus Thornton, a shooting guard. So they've got another guard, which adds to now, I think, you're considering Brandon Knight, Kendall Marshall, Bledsoe, now Thornton. You got 4 guards still there, but you haven't
play 4 ball guards at one time.
You haven't really acquired a small forward, which is, for me, is the position that definitely needed a better player in than what they've got at the moment in Gerald Green, who's a fantastic 3-point shooter, but definitely not an all-star small forward yet.
Trades concerning the Nuggets and the Trailblazers. Trailblazers have picked up Aaron Afalo and Alonzo Gee, with the Nuggets acquiring Victor Carter, Thomas Robinson, Will Barton, and the 2016 protected first round pick lottery style.
Yeah, again, Blazers have just picked up more on the bench there. You know, I think Barton and Robinson got time. Claver never really played. But obviously, I think they've upgraded a little bit in there. Flalo and G. Flalo can definitely be a great backup to Damian Lillard, as well as obviously they've already got Steve Blake there, so that's another guard to add. Alonso G, good small forward off the bench, and it's just I think it's adding to the depth, and will certainly be It'll be big come the end of the season, playoff time, when that is very much needed. That depth in the team.
Yeah, more Sixers news. Javel McGee has gone to the 76ers. They've got a 2015 protected first round pick, which is going to be a top. Is that top
18? Yeah.
Top 18 pick, and they've got the. Oh, here we go. Oh, blimey. Okay.
Chuck Woody.
Whoa. This is my honours, right? They've got the rights to Chuck Woody Beer Madabum. Okay, is that right?
Yeah, not bad, no.
Or we'll call him Chucker.
Yeah, Chucks.
Chucks,
yeah.
We'll call him Chucks.
Yeah.
So the rights to Chucks, is that a good bit of business?
Yeah, got the right Chucks. Obviously he's in the D League, so obviously he's got the rights to sign him if they wish to.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of him.
Yeah, and Nuggets have acquired the rights to Cenk Okyon.
Well played.
Yeah, so a bit more of interesting draft news, and that's the Rockets have picked up KJ McDaniels, the impressive rookie from the Sixers, for Isaiah Cannon.
Yeah, and then they've got a 2015 second round pick, lesser of a Timberwolf or a Nugget.
Yeah, again, another good bench player there for the Rockets. I like that pickup. I think it's an improvement from Cannon, although I do rate Cannon as a backup point guard. And he certainly can do his bit at the Sixers, but I think that the Rockets have done pretty well there. And they've also got Prigioni in replace with Sved, two similar players who will bring similar attributes to the bench. So.
And the Knicks have got Shred, a 2017 second round pick and a 2019 second round pick.
They could do with all the draft picks they can get.
They can do with something, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
They can all get a game.
Rexy Sped, I think, is a better replacement in person. Okay,
Taya Sean is back home, you might think, at the Pistons. And the Celtics, as a result, acquired Batome and Jerebski.
Obviously, Celtics might end up leaving them as free agents at the end of the year if they come to that. Tayshaun Prince hasn't really picked up where he left off when he was at the Pistons. He was a good player there. It hasn't really sent that form anywhere else. Obviously, his contract comes at the end of the year. And I think Pistons is a team he'd rather re-sign for, and I think he'll do well with the off the bench for the Pistons again.
Apologies for cutting you.
Don't worry, just cutting because there's a lot of trade news.
There's a lot of trade news to get through. The Washington Wizards, Ramon Sessions, and that deal also involves Sacramento Kings picking up Andre Miller.
Yep. Straight swap, obviously. I think Sessions I've rarely seen play. I don't know if he's been injured for quite a bit of this season for the Kings. And straight swap, two backup point guards / shooting guards. I think Wizards, in terms of their playoff hunt and potential of getting through to the finals, etc., that certainly helps them having a good player like that in Ramon Sessions.
Okay, moving it on, we're looking at the Pelicans and the Suns. The Pelicans picking up Ish Smith, the rights to Latavius Williams, draft and cash considerations, and the Suns have got draft considerations as well.
So a bit of interesting developments, and that is it basically for the trades.
Okay, that's it for the trade news. This is UK NBA. That was part 2. What is coming up on part 3?
Part 3 is the key matchups.
Yes, it's key matchups and predictions. Stay right here. This is UK NBA.